Let's play a game. It's a very simple game, so I don't want anyone to panic. What's going to happen is I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If you want, you can grab a pen and paper to scribble your answer down on, but it's not essential. I'll give you exactly 5 seconds to get yourself ready.
That's all, folks.
Here we go. Question 1. Capitalism, good or bad? Question 2. Big corporations, good or bad? Question 3. Dystopian futures, fact or fiction? If you answered capitalism good, big corporations good, and dystopian futures are fiction, then hello Mr. Bezos, didn't know you were into video games. And if you said capitalism bad, big corporations bad, and dystopian futures are a fact, then I welcome you, dear science fiction writer. Come on in, sit down. How is your novel, screenplay, radio series coming along? All jokes aside, there is a certain formulaic quality to science fiction stories, particularly those with an element of allegory to them. That's not to say that allegorical storytelling is inherently bad, it isn't. Looking at reality through a fictional lens can often reveal truths that you wouldn't otherwise have seen, especially if it's done subtly. Sorry, I said all jokes aside, didn't I? Let's turn our attention to The Last Worker, a video game set in a dystopian future where you play as Kurt, the last surviving employee of a megacorporation known as Jungle, a very clever and exceedingly subtle nod to the fact that Amazon is named after a jungle and is a massive capitalist corporation. It's really very droll. A joint development between Wolf and Wood and Oify, this is a first-person game with a comic book graphical style based on designs by Mick McMahon of Judge Dredd and 2000 AD fame. It is set in the future, focuses mainly on stealth, and has a pretty stellar cast, of which Jason Isaacs is probably the most notable member. It has a moral choice system and multiple endings, and the soundtrack was composed by Oliver Krauss, known for his work on films such as Finding Dory, San Andreas and The Great Gatsby, and collaborations with Sia, Adele, and, somewhat ironically, Florence and the Machine. You might have noticed at this point that this is a very dry review, and that's because the demo we received for The Last Worker is, to be blunt, short. Very short. How short, you ask? Well, from the moment I pressed record and loaded up the game to the moment that I had finished all the content, having died at least twice, probably 3 times on one of the missions, was 21 minutes. 21 minutes that included the opening story cinematic, as well as me double checking the settings were up to scratch for review footage. I would optimistically estimate it included 15 minutes of gameplay. In that time you get 2 levels of gameplay. The first is the tutorial, which sets up the basics of the game well enough. The second one is a stealth section where you have to avoid being caught by the security robots that have killed off every single one of your co-workers, bar one that escaped in the opening video, so spoilers, I guess. The gameplay is good and the story seems competently written, but this all felt like someone reading the first page of a book to me and asking what I thought of the story and characters. I honestly don't know what to tell you. It's a video game, that I know for certain, and it doesn't seem to have done anything particularly new or original. The graphical style has been seen before, the setting has been seen before, the core concept has been done to death. Here's the thing. Everything I'm saying could be presumptuous, wildly inaccurate, and be giving The Last Worker a disservice. But in the exceptionally short glimpse of the game I got, I could discern very little. The cynic in me kept whispering in my ear that the only reason the demo is so short is because these are the only 2 sections of the game that are finished to any real standard. In all seriousness, I'm not sure what the developers want reviewers to say based on such a tiny sample. I didn't have time to love it or to hate it. Fortunately, because it's a demo, I don't have to score The Last Worker out of 10, but I should be able to offer a well-reasoned argument as to whether you should give this game a look or not. Unfortunately, due to lack of evidence and/or content, I'm going to have to recommend that you avoid The Last Worker. Mind you, that shouldn't be too difficult. There's really not that much of it. I've been Chris for Invicta magazine, and thank you for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed it, please do give this video a like and a share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and keep up with all our latest content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, plus we stream regularly on Twitch, and you can find all those links in the description below along with our website. See you next time. Goodbye for now.